Hey, Mark.
Hey, Liz. How's it going?
Oh.
What are you up to? What are you up to?
Well, I've had an incredibly busy day.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I got up early this morning to walk my dog like I always do on the days that I don't work. And you know the crow saga?
Yes.
We've talked about the crows?
Yes.
The crows are gone.
Well, shoot.
You know what? Here I'm thinking, if I like to put myself in the mind of the crow.
Mm-hmm.
They came to my neighborhood. They're like, well, this is nice. And then one of them got hurt.
Right.
And they're like, it's okay. We'll stay here and take
Right.
care of you. And then it got kidnapped.
Right.
And I think they're like, we're leaving.
Yeah, well, right.
See, I mean, occasionally I'll see a crow, but I don't see like this big gaggle of family of crows anymore. And it
Aw.
makes me really bummed.
Well.
But our neighborhood has like one of those little marquee signs when you're driving out of
Yes.
it. And I'm in charge of the sign.
Right.
And somebody called me and they're like, my child is turning 8. Can you sign me? And I was like, yeah, it's fine. I don't love doing birthdays because I'm terrified that everyone's going to want one.
Exactly.
And this is a big
It's a
neighborhood.
huge
And what if
neighborhood.
I have to go, oh, that's the night of the HOA meeting.
Oy.
I can't do it.
No,
and they're
don't.
like, well, you did it for Doohickey.
Well,
I know.
don't
You see, I used to do the
floodgate.
sign when we first moved into this neighborhood for 1,000 years. And then I got bored with it, gave it to somebody else. And then they just started doing they didn't even do neighborhood announcements. They just did like birthdays and knock jokes.
Right.
And I'm like, that's lovely.
But
when is the damn
everybody sees
HOA
this.
meeting? Because
Yes.
I want to go.
Totally.
Anywho, so I was like, fine. And she's my next door neighbor, so I kind of had to do it. So her little boy, Win, is turning 8.
Okay.
So the other thing, when I took the sign back, in the meantime, they had built a new one and they bought new letters, but they only have one set of numbers in them. So if someone's 11 or if someone is 88, you can't do that. So with my own money, I bought some other letters and cheaper ones
Numbers.
from Amazon.
Yeah.
And letters and numbers.
Okay.
And so they don't exactly fit the sign.
Oh, you're responsible for that.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yes. So when I went up today, I decided his name was Win. So I wanted to make a joke about winning and you're 8 and
good.
that's fabulous. So I did the sign and then I came home and I was leaving the neighborhood today to go to the grocery store and the 8 that I had bought that doesn't quite fit had fallen. And so now he's infinity.
I love it.
So I'm like, I could pull over and
Hey,
change that.
Win.
But you know what, Win?
We gave you a few extra years.
It's a win-win. So yeah, that's what's going on here in the neighborhood.
Fun day.
And welcome to episode 7 of My Grandma's Diaries. Previously on. Hey, you know what else sounds really good, Mark?
What?
Sponsored by...
No kidding.
Ah!
I know, for real.
I mean, come on, we're on episode
Our
7.
TikTok's doing great, though.
It is.
It's like, if you build it, they will come. So
Right.
we're building it.
And yes, and I think they're coming. And the
Yeah, yeah.
Facebook is doing really well.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
Grandma's
it's picking
Diary.
up.
And
Absolutely.
It changed to My Grandma's Diaries like
Exactly.
you thought it would.
Right.
Thank God.
I know.
And we've got the Instagram and we've got the Patreon and we've got this and everything is My Grandma's Diaries.
Yep.
And eventually we're going to start talking about merch. But meanwhile, we're on episode 7. So
Yeah.
if you missed episode 6, which again, go. Why are you here? Go back
Bye.
and listen to new things. Catch up.
Get hooked
But-
on this story.
Oh my gosh.
The story.
How can you not?
I know. You and I are ahead of the game, especially
way.
you.
Yeah.
So you know, like, the story.
I know everything.
And I'm just in a couple of years, and you tell me things, but it's not like I keep up with it. So
Right.
I'm like a brand new viewer for every entry.
I think you are the best barometer of how this is going because you don't want to know too much.
Exactly.
So when I send
That's
you
right.
the readings
That's
of
right.
this, you're like, oh my God, what?
That's right.
And I'm
the
like,
story
that's our
gets
audience.
better and better. Exactly.
I know. Did you see someone on TikTok commented overrated diary?
Yeah.
And I responded,
What did you say?
LOL.
I couldn't see. Oh, good. Perfect. Good.
Because I'm like, okay, you don't have to love it, but
Right.
why did you comment? Anyway, that's
whatever.
the world.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, so on last week's episode, we talked about things like George Washington's bicentennial birthday. We met a lot more of Elizabeth's friends, and we did talk about prohibition.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't like drinking.
She
and
does not.
We kind of talked about why. And we even brought up the Lindbergh baby because it was such a big part of what was going on in the world.
And she had no idea.
And she didn't
or
mention it.
didn't mention it.
But she will later.
Yes, you
So,
said.
see, that's pretty cool. That's what you get from me getting ahead, which is cool. We met a Bill Terrell.
Now, who was he?
Bill is a boy that she asked her out on a date.
Yes.
And then stood her
up, right?
but has stuck around. So
Right.
Bill is kind of like the love interest at the moment. So we got to
Someone
meet
to
him.
watch.
Oh,
Right?
Bill.
Am I right?
Get comfortable with Bill.
Okay.
Yes. But her ex-boyfriend, Gussie, who had the highway girl as a girlfriend for a while.
That's right.
He's still sniffing around.
Her?
So, yes.
All right.
So, gosh. And just to refresh, Gussie is Lil's brother, and Lil is Elisabeth's best friend.
Got it.
And they are also Terrells, like
Wait,
Bill.
Lil is a Terrell as well as Bill.
Yes. And so is Gussie.
Oh,
But
Gussie is.
they're cousins.
That's right.
They're not in the same family.
Got it.
So it gets a little confusing. I still want to make that friend family tree
Let's
for
do
the
it.
Patreon.
We need to, absolutely.
Because, God, I need it sometimes too.
Right.
I might ask you to make it because I'd like to get little,
ask
you
me.
know.
But
yeah.
I need, just write it out and I'll do it.
Otherwise, or tell me how to do it and I can do it.
No,
But
just-
yeah, it'll be real easy.
Yeah.
So anyway, Gussie's still around. And remember also there was an episode where Lil and Francis and Elisabeth busted up into Gussie's room.
Yeah.
Because he had a letter from Ray.
Yeah.
And Ray is Francis's boyfriend.
boyfriend.
So we got a lot of people going on here. So are you confused? So are we, but it's okay because we'll put that family tree. And
comes together.
I'll probably put that on Instagram because everybody, I don't want
Everybody
that
needs
shouldn't
to
be
see
behind
that.
a paywall. We're not
No,
jerks.
no. Yeah.
So there you go. And when our last
Right.
episode ended, Elisabeth was hoping for better times.
Yes,
in
she
April.
was.
April 4th, 1932. Of course, I was 14 last year on this day, and I'm bound to be 15 today. Went to school all day. Lil, Bill, Rex, Francis, and I went to the woods behind the shops. It's so pretty. Bill told me that he had made plans for us. He certainly could talk serious, and I think he means it. I like him better than any boy, but I certainly don't love him. Velma sent me a birthday card. Louis gave me one. It's his birthday, too. Dean pulled the chain off my diary tonight. So here's what's fun. In last episode, we met Louis for the first time then. You know, he's hanging around, giving her rides, hanging out with the gang. But I couldn't find him because there were a ton of Louis. But this time, she mentioned they share a birthday. So that's how I was able to find her friend Louis, and his name was Louis Edward Biles. And he was born on April 4th
Okay.
of 1911. He serves in World War II in the Air Force from 1942 until 1945.
Okay.
In 1942, he marries Marion Frances Jacobs, and he'll end up working after the war in Decatur, Illinois for the Shell Oil Company. Then, in March of 1968, he and Marion get a divorce in Nevada, so that means a quickie divorce, and he remarries in California in April of 1968. So he gets a divorce in March in Nevada, and in
He gets
April,
married in April?
woo, he's married.
All right.
So he married
Louis.
a widow named Avenel Schul. He was 57 and she was 49, and 6 months later he'll drop dead from a heart attack.
Oh, no.
So maybe there was too much marital activity.
So what? Right. So what year was that?
Which
He
year?
died in-
He died 6 months after he married her. So in 1968 was a big year. He gets a divorce, he gets married, he dies.
And he and Velma gave the birthday cards to Elisabeth.
Yes.
She was turning 15.
She did indeed. Yep.
Velma sent me a birthday card. And Louis.
Yes,
All right.
yes. And then also, in that litany of friends who
Right.
went into the woods behind the shops,
Right.
we met Rex.
Okay.
And Rex is a Wallace. He is Ray's little brother. So
Oh.
Ray is the one who's dating Francis, and now we're meeting his little brother who's hanging around with the gang. But he was born August of 1914, and he actually ends up marrying Stella Terrell, who is Gussie and Lil's sister. So this is like a
Wait a
bunch of
minute.
friends who marry each other.
Gussie and
And Lil
Lil's-
have a sister named Stella.
I thought
and
Ray and Lil were brother and sister, not Gussie. Gussie
Nope.
is the cousin.
Nope. Gussie and Lil, remember, because they're visiting Lil and they bust into Gussie's room?
Right.
So Gussie is Lil's brother. And
I thought
Bill
they
is their
busted
cousin.
into Ray's room.
No, Ray, the letter from Ray was in that room.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Got it.
It's okay. It's okay. It's
Right.
okay.
No.
No, questions are good things.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Right.
Lil and Gussie have a sister named Stella. And
Okay.
Stella marries this man we're meeting right now, Rex.
So Elisabeth knew both of them.
Oh, yeah. They're all friends. Because Ray and Gussie are best friends. So
Right.
when Ray and Gussie were both dating Elisabeth and Francis at the same time, that was a pretty handy double date situation. Because these two best friends and these two sisters
Exactly.
are hanging out.
Interesting.
And then Gussie dumps Elisabeth, and then Ray will eventually dump.
It's a domino effect.
Right. But
Francis.
I haven't told y'all in previous episodes, we have already met Ray a couple times,
Right.
because he's dating Francis. But I haven't told you his story yet.
Oh.
Because his story involves these people that we're talking
Okay.
about. So this is a very friendly crowd of friends.
Yeah.
So we're going to meet Ray
The little
more later,
rascals.
but we've heard Ray's name a lot so far.
Right.
But this is Rex. Rex will marry Stella Terrell, and they'll move out to California, and he works in the vegetable dehydration business.
Oh.
And they end up having 3 children. And in 1946, he's in a car accident that broke his knees, and because some 15-year-old kid ran through a stop sign. And this was a newspaper article that I found. So I just
Yeah.
thought I'd mention it because
Yeah.
it's so fun to find newspaper articles about these people.
Absolutely.
But he
telling
will-
the future.
Yes.
It really is.
It's fun. It's just fun to know. And he
the
dies.
future from the diary, I mean. Sorry,
Yes.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, it's perfectly fine. He dies in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and I did notice in the 1960 directory, you can find like old phone books
Right.
that are on Ancestry, which is
Yes.
kind of cool because I like to look it up because sometimes phone books have addresses in them.
Right.
And I'd like to see what their
That's
house
right.
looked like. So
Well,
I
yeah.
looked up this phone book thinking,
Yeah.
oh, and he was listed as the Reverend
Okay.
Rex Wallace.
Okay.
So I don't know when he goes from dehydrating vegetables to saving souls, but he sure
Right.
did. And now Stella, because now I've introduced you to Stella,
Yeah.
she's pretty cool herself. When she got married in their newspaper article of the wedding,
Mm-hmm.
she was described as wearing a pink suit with black accessories.
Cool, Stella.
So very cute, Stella. And she was a
Wait, she wasn't wearing white?
No, back then, no.
What? That's a new thing?
It's not necessarily new. My mother wore a white dress, but a lot of, like, even Elizabeth, when she does get married, she gets married in a suit. She has a
Really?
pretty little
Oh,
spring
right. I
jacket and
remember
skirt.
that.
And yeah, it wasn't necessarily like a
Right.
you know?
Okay. Today it's commercial.
Even a couple of
About selling
episodes
the
ago,
dresses.
when we talk about Velma getting married,
That's right.
she was just wearing a suit, and Francis had on like a black
That's so
suit.
interesting.
Yeah, they just
How
wore
interesting.
everyday clothes. They didn't have the money.
Sure. Right.
I mean, weddings are expensive.
They wore what they wore to church, I guess.
Exactly. They might get a new suit and maybe a new hat.
Yes.
Some gloves.
Aw.
Gosh, it was so cute.
What an
back
interesting
then.
little thing,
I
tidbit.
know, I know. I
I
think
always
it's
try to
kinda
write the movie in my head.
Yes.
And that's an interesting detail.
I think so too. When they moved to California, she
Mm-hmm.
becomes a member of the Soroptimist International.
What?
I know. I had to look it up too.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I know. A Soroptimist is it's a volunteer organization for the empowerment of women and girls.
Good for her now.
I know. She is named the Woman of Distinction in the year 1986. And apparently she volunteers everywhere. In her obituary, it talks about she worked for the American Heart Association, the American Cancer Society. She worked at elementary schools and was a Sunday school teacher, maybe where Rex was a reverend. And she dies in the year 2000. So that's before Rex. He died in 2009.
Okay.
So that's a lovely little
Yes.
relationship there. And those are the friends from that entry. So there you
Now we
have it.
know what happened to him.
I know, and it's my favorite part.
I know, it's so interesting.
And I just always wait to find someone who's like, and then he became the ambassador to
I
France.
know,
So
right?
we're waiting. One of these
Right.
days, we'll find an ambassador. April 7th, 1932. Bill walked to school with me at noon. I guess we're through. I gave him his cigarette case, and he gave me back my button. Francis and I went to Lil's this afternoon, came back and talked to Louie, Chick, and Bill. He was just chewing tobacco for all he was worth.
I have an observation.
Do it.
She gets involved with these guys and has these crushes like within a day.
Oh, sure.
And then she just drops them like that. Like
Yeah.
just as fast.
It doesn't take them doing much of anything for her to say, hey, we need to talk about this. No, she's like, no,
Right.
done. But they come back pretty quickly.
Yes.
But what I thought was really cute about that little episode
Yeah.
was it reminded me of Peter Pan. Are you
Yeah.
familiar with Peter Pan?
Yeah.
Wendy wants to give him a kiss. and or she asks for a kiss and he doesn't know what that is. So she gives him a button and he gives her an acorn.
Okay.
And that's a symbol of their little innocent little kissing.
Absolutely.
So when they exchanged these two objects, because you always see on Etsy like the little necklaces with the acorn, and it's the whole Peter Pan,
theory.
Symbol for a kiss and for love. So I thought that was real cute.
You think that's what that was? I gave him his cigarette case, and he gave me back my button.
I don't know what kind of button it is.
Yeah.
You've got those buttons that say like "Vote for Carl," or whatever.
Right.
But I don't know
Who
if it
knows?
was like a button that had come off her jacket that was pretty, and she was like, "Well, you have this." And why would he give her his cigarette case?
I know. That's what I was thinking.
How about like a pocket knife or or a tie clip or
I
cigarette
know,
case?
especially since she hated smoking.
I think that's exactly right, and we'll hear about that.
He gets kicked to the curb
a little bit.
Well, for now.
Well, that's April 7th. Let's find out what happens on April 8th. April 8th, 1932. Bill talked to me at noon. He gave me back his cigarette case and promised not to drink, chew, or smoke.
As I was saying.
Yes. Exactly.
It is now approximately 24 hours later.
Yes, and everything is peachy keen.
Right.
Because when boys tell you things, they mean it. They're not lying. I think that was kind of funny. And then I started thinking about why would 15 or 16-year-old Bill Terrell even have a cigarette case?
Yeah.
What's the status? What's going on? So I was just kind of looking up some things about the world. And I discovered something I did not know, that the movie Scarface with Al Pacino was actually a movie in 1932. And
really?
And it was a book prior to that in 1929. And this was a time, Al Capone in 1932 had already been arrested and was in jail. And the gangster mentality was really, no different from when The Godfather came out and it was like, oh, good, now I'm Italian.
Same thing.
And Sopranos and all these men are like, I want to be a gangster. And they romanticize this world of gangsters.
And smoking.
And
was part
smoking and drinking and, being all slicked up. I mean, that was just really cool. And I wonder if it had that kind of influence on him. But I actually went and looked on YouTube and TikTok at a bunch of clips of the movie Scarface.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to sit down and watch
Really?
it. It looked very, very, very good. And it was critically acclaimed, like compared to Citizen Kane at its time, with just how cool the shots were and how unusual, like the camera motions were. And I think, and of course, Elisabeth would have never seen this movie.
Right.
And the person who wrote Scarface was actually a journalist who knew Al Capone personally. So he had been reporting on his crimes.
How interesting.
So he knew a lot of the back gangster story and could give this a lot of grit. And I thought you would think this is fun. There are homoerotic themes that pop up in this movie. I love homoerotica.
Oh my God.
But there are two things. Because they try to paint him as a little gay, this Al Capone type gangster character. And there's one scene where he's trying to get a woman who's like legit. She's not like a kind of woman who would date a gangster.
Okay.
So that's the woman he wants. And she says something. She says his jewelry is effeminate.
Yeah.
And he takes it as a compliment.
Yeah.
So either he doesn't know what that word means because it's a big word, or he's like, thanks. And then there's this other scene, which you can find on TikTok a lot because it is kind of sexy, where he needs his pencil and his secretary takes it out of his pocket, puts it in his mouth to dampen the tip, like he licks it, and then hands it back to him, which is super sexy.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, it's an intimate.
Yeah, it's intimate.
Like he licked my pencil. Like, so either he's being so subservient, they're like, "Oh, I'll lick your pencil for you, sir," and he's scared of him, or he's like, "I got your pencil."
Oh dear.
So everybody thinks that's homoerotic.
Well,
which it was kind of fun.
I probably would think that.
I mean,
if
you
saw it. I want to see that. So Scarface, 1932.
I mean, it just really looks fabulous. It really, really does.
How interesting! It was something before it was the Scarface that we know.
Who knew? Yeah, and how they had to reimagine it to make him like this big drug dealer. I mean, it probably wasn't that big of a stretch.
Right.
And Michelle Pfeiffer is the beautiful woman who he wants that he shouldn't be able to have.
And I'm sure that had some sort of cultural influence.
Of course
on
it did.
This list of people who Elisabeth
the gangsters were so like in your face living their life. And they had all the money and they had all the power. And that's got to be real attractive to men full of testosterone, young men who look at them and think They're saying, screw you, country, where everybody else is broke, but I'm thriving, and they want to thrive too. So I don't know. You never know with what boys are thinking, but...
Well, it's been around for a while.
That's right. That's right. So there you go. So that was a little side Guggen I did for this one. Yeah. April 9th, 1932. Lil, Stella, and I went to Aunt Ella's after dinner today. Acted crazy. Went back to Lil's, dug worms, and Gussie and Jessie went fishing with us at Terrell Lake. I got several fish. Gussie walked to town with us, and we went over and talked to Chick. Bill phoned tonight just to tell me he saw me with Gussie. April 11th, 1932. Bill was drunk Saturday night when he phoned me. He kept asking me to forgive him. April 12th, 1932. Bill walked home with Lil and me, talked up at the corner. He talked about getting Francis and me jobs in Kansas City. Hope he can. I'd love to work up there. We are going to have to go to Arkansas the 1st of May, but if Mother and Francis can get a job, we won't.
Man, they were all looking for jobs now.
But what the heck does Elisabeth, does she think that she and Francis are going to move to Kansas City?
Exactly.
I don't know how far away Kansas City is from Belle, but it doesn't seem very realistic.
I mean, it is far. Yeah, especially back then.
I mean, that's so 15 to think, I'll just get up and go live on my own.
And Bill was like the Fonz, he was like, I'll get you guys a couple of jobs over in Kansas City.
Right. And from last episode, his dad was a major politician.
Right.
So he probably did think, I can pull some strings and my dad can do this. Because his dad was like a circuit court judge and a probate judge and congressman.
He could pull some of his Missouri ties.
Yes, right. It's so Ozark of them.
Yeah, really.
So I thought that was interesting. And then I Googled Kansas City in 1932, and it was still a pretty thriving city because it was such a center of commerce and industry for the entire Midwest.
Okay.
And it was home to a thriving jazz scene. So lots of clubs and venues and people like Count Basie and Charlie Parker are performing there. And it's really a big hub. And then I started thinking jazz in Kansas City, and that made me think about the Great Migration. So many black people and poor people that weren't of color were leaving the South, because farming had crapped out. The boll weevil had come in the 1920s and messed up a lot of the cotton farming, and they're just moving up to the North, hoping for probably people to treat them a lot
better life.
Yeah. So that would have, of course, brought the jazz and the blues with them and started all these clubs. And then the gangsters bringing in all the booze. This was a total exciting situation going on in Kansas City.
Yeah, for her,
that
it was a big city.
Yeah.
Kansas City.
So can you imagine her thinking, Francis and I will live and we'll get this little apartment and we'll work and we'll make money for the family. And maybe thinking mother. I love how she calls her mother.
Yeah.
Mother would be coming too. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
So they were all looking for jobs. Mother, Francis,
everybody. Well,
Elizabeth,
Dad is, still off looking for work.
Oh,
and remember,
man.
Grandpa had said that they needed to be out in the 1st of March, but he kept them.
Yeah.
But I think this is also Grandpa going, okay, guys.
Yeah.
I said
get
March.
A freaking, yeah.
Now it's the end. You need to be out by the end of April.
And let's remind people, this is the beginning of the Great Depression.
Things have really, really
It's
gotten
awful.
bad.
It's horrible.
I mean, they've already had to leave where we started the diary in Monticello, Arkansas.
Right.
They only came to Belle because that's where her grandparents are.
Yeah.
So they've been taking them in for a couple of months. Dad still can't find a job. They have no idea how bad it's going to get.
Exactly.
And Grandpa is probably so old and so, like what we would call a boomer, that he's like, well, you should be able to get a job and support your family.
Right.
Well, he can't.
Right.
And it's just going to get worse. So can you imagine you're there with your 5 kids and they're like, well, you have a month. And every time you go to apply for a job, there are 1,000 men.
Yeah.
Hundreds of
That's
men
how it
sitting
was,
there.
25%.
I mean, yeah.
Unemployment.
Exactly. So things are so bad for them. But anyway, we'll see what happens.
Yikes.
April 13th, 1932. After school, Francis, Lil, and I went to town. Some old bums just tried their best to attract our attention. Mr. Johnson died yesterday, and his nephew from Illinois is here, and he's kind of cute. And so is his car. I saw him with Jack. Francis and I talked to Bill a while. He thinks we'll get our jobs. Pumped the organ and sang tonight with Francis.
She could play the organ and the piano.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. And this is already setting her up to be the constant pianist in her family and her love of music, which I think we discovered a couple episodes ago seems to be like a Hartsell family thing. Everybody played an instrument.
Right.
And I think that's really neat. But I was curious. This is not an episode that we had on the TikTok.
I noticed that.
Yeah, I went and pulled this one.
Who's Mr. Johnson? He died.
Yes, I'm definitely going to get into who Mr. Johnson was. But I thought for the podcast, I'd go back and see some episodes I missed.
Okay.
Or, because this writing is so small. And sometimes the handwriting is so rough, and I would just read it, and maybe my little brain just got tired. So I don't know. I don't really know how I missed this episode. Maybe because I thought, who's Mr. Johnson? This is the first time she's mentioning him, and why should I care?
But she does that several times. She'll just say somebody died. And one of them coming up is one of the characters you're familiar with, who we've talked about on today's episode.
Oh, wait a minute.
She talks about him suddenly dying. About a year into... Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
I'll write it on the back of this piece of paper.
So I don't have to edit this. That's so good.
Let me... So...
Oh!
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So stay tuned.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So anyway.
Oh my God. Oh, y'all, so much happens. But anyway, I think I probably skipped this because Mr. Johnson felt like a one and done kind of thing. And I thought, well, why? But for the podcast, this is exactly what we're here for. We want to dive a little deeper. So Mr.
And his
Johnson,
nephew was cute. Let me just interject. So Mr. Johnson died and his nephew from Illinois was cute, and so is his car.
Anything that brings in the cute people,
exactly.
I guess it's okay. But Mr. Johnson was William Hall Johnson, and he was born on February 21st of 1863 he has such an interesting life. Okay. In the 1870 census, he and his little sister, and now he's born in... He's born in 1863.
Right.
So this is 1870. I can't do math. How old is he? 8, 9?
9.
Something like that. Yes.
No, 7.
Okay. I believe you. I don't know. I'm not going to fact check you on that one.
Don't.
But in the 1870 census, he and his little sister are living with his aunt on a farm.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, oh no, his parents died. But no, in 1880, he's back with his mother and father on their farm.
Okay.
So why they were shifting around, I don't know. In 1900, 20 years later, he is a farmer, he's married, and he has 6 children. But a lot of, farmers had a lot of children back then.
Right.
Now, in the 1910 census, he owns his own butcher shop. And 4 of his children are still living at home with them, so they're growing up and they're doing their own thing. And then in 1920, I wonder if he lost the butcher shop, because now in the census, he's listed as a retail salesman in a general store. So I'm thinking either he lost the butcher shop or he expanded and made it into a general store.
Yeah.
So
that was done a lot, actually.
I would
General
think so.
stores became post offices and, all kinds of things.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I hope for him anyway. I want him to be successful. And then in the 1930 census, he's the marshal.
Like the sheriff?
Yeah.
Huh.
Isn't a marshal a federal? So he's higher than the sheriff, who's local. Yeah, he's the marshal.
Andy Griffith.
And it must have been a very stressful job, because 2 years later, he has a brain hemorrhage.
Oh.
It says in his death certificate that it's the result of years of not treating his high blood pressure.
See?
So y'all, if you have some high blood pressure, take your medicine, take care of yourself. Don't you dare salt that French fry.
Don't be like Mr. Johnson. Don't salt that French fry. I can't stay away from that salt.
Oh God!
But
Mr.
you
just get better salt. Get pink salt.
So really?
Yeah,
that's better for you.
There are different salt. Oh, I just spit. There are different salts that have different levels of what makes it a good or bad salt.
I use the pink salt.
I do too.
So I can eat as much as I want.
Well,
within reason.
Let's not go crazy.
What's reason?
Yeah,
so that was the day that So you found Mr. Johnson's obituary, which is so cool, right? Didn't you?
No, I didn't find it. I just went through every census and looked up his occupation.
Well, how did you find out he died? Oh, his death certificate.
I did find his death certificate.
So that was he died. That was from April 13th, 1932. Which is the entry that you just read, because that's the day he died, which is pretty cool.
Technically, he died on the 12th because, But,
So, that would have been in the paper when...
and he was the marshal.
Right.
So it would have been like the mayor dropping dead. I mean, he was a very important person in town.
And she wrote about it.
And we'll find out a little bit more about that in our next entry. April 14th, 1932. Went to school, but got out early at 10:30 on account of Mr. Johnson's funeral. Went with Lil to her house. We both sat there and wept because we're not sure if we're going to have to leave at the end of the month. Got a letter from Daddy last night. Walked home from town with Bill, and we talked on the corner. Francis, Dean, Helen, and I went to the woods behind the school and picked violets. So when I first read this, I thought we sat there and wept for Mr. Johnson.
I did too.
But no, that's already over.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
they
just
can't
worried.
Get to Belle.
So yeah, apparently Dad has written and luck is running out.
Right.
He's just not finding a job. April 19th, 1932. Francis and I went over to Lil's this afternoon. Played the piano. Bill walked home with us. Francis and I went to the drugstore tonight for a Coke. Gussie and Ray brought us home. Brought us straight home.
As opposed to what?
As opposed to like, hey, let's go riding. Let's hang out.
Gotcha.
Let's hold hands. Let's kiss a little.
Just brought us straight home.
I mean, and she underlined the word straight.
Really?
What I also think is cute is when she says she got a Coke.
Yeah.
She spells it C-O-C.
Yes,
like
I noticed
Coca-Cola.
that. Yes.
And she's just abbreviating it.
Yes.
And I wondered how long before they just started calling it Coke with a K-E.
That's such an interesting question.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, because she does spell it C-O-C.
Mm-hmm. And for the longest time, I'd be like,
you didn't know
what?
What?
And then it dawned on me. So it's funny, the more you read these things, the more things she'll say that were weird. Because there's one that's going on right now in the TikTok you just put up that she swept the front yard.
Yeah.
And people are like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, I guess it was dirt.
I found it was packed dirt. I looked it up.
Oh.
And no, actually, my mom and dad, I was talking to them about it. And they said, oh, of course, they literally swept. It was packed dirt.
That made sense.
So you wouldn't rake it, you'd sweep it. So they didn't have yards like we know yards.
Of course. Oh my
God.
Anyway. They were lucky to have what they had.
And we're talking about the future.
Yeah, and that is in the future.
Yes.
But it made me laugh today because my neighbor at the end of the street here on my little cul-de-sac has AstroTurf and not grass.
Yes.
But it's the good kind. You wouldn't know it. But when I went to when I left today to run my little errand, she was out there sweeping it. I was like,
Right. That's what they mean.
So we're still sweeping.
Yeah.
That's
right.
Funny. Okay, cool. April 19th, 1932. Francis and I went over to Lil's this afternoon. Played the piano. Bill walked home with us. Francis and I went to the drugstore tonight for a Coke. Gussie and Ray brought us home. Brought us straight home.
As opposed to what?
As opposed to like, hey, let's go riding. Let's hang out.
Gotcha.
Let's hold hands. Let's kiss a little.
Just brought us straight home.
I mean, and she underlined the word straight.
Really?
What I also think is cute is when she says she got a Coke.
Yeah.
She spells it C-O-C.
Yes,
like
I noticed
Coca-Cola.
That. Yes.
And she's just abbreviating it.
Yes.
And I wondered how long before they just started calling it Coke with a K-E.
That's such an interesting question.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, because she does spell it C-O-C.
Mm-hmm. And for the longest time, I'd be like,
you didn't know
what?
What?
And then it dawned on me. So it's funny, the more you read these things, the more things she'll say that were weird. Because there's one that's going on right now in the TikTok you just put up that she swept the front yard.
Yeah.
And people are like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, I guess it was dirt.
I found it was packed dirt. I looked it up. And no, actually, my mom and dad, I was talking to them about it. And they said, oh, of course, they literally swept. It was packed dirt.
That made sense.
So you wouldn't rake it, you'd sweep it. So they didn't have yards like we know yards.
Of course. Oh my
God.
Anyway. They were lucky to have what they had.
And we're talking about the future.
Yeah, and that is in the future.
Yes.
But it made me laugh today because my neighbor at the end of the street here on my little cul-de-sac has AstroTurf and not grass.
Yes.
But it's the good kind. You wouldn't know it. But when I went to when I left today to run my little errand, she was out there sweeping it. I was like,
Right. That's what they mean.
So we're still sweeping.
Yeah.
That's
right.
Funny. Okay, cool. April 21st, 1932. Francis and Lil went to the lake ahead of me. I had to stay behind and practice with the seniors for the program. Then I went to the lake to fish. Gussie came down and shot a duck. He and I together caught a bass, Francis caught a catfish, and Lil caught a perch.
Well, that's quite the menagerie.
Oh my gosh.
Duck, a catfish, and a perch.
I wonder I guess they took them all home to their separate families and ate them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they were happy to get
dinner.
that duck.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, a little orange. That's not bad. But she's practicing with the seniors for the program.
Okay.
And I left out the entry before because it was super boring. But what she's doing is she's playing for their commencement. So she's playing like the graduation march
Okay.
on the piano. So she has to go to several practices.
Gotcha.
Which is interesting because, well, it's just interesting to me, like when I read a book, because here it is, she's leaving at the end of the month.
Right.
And her life at Belle is going to wrap up.
Right.
You know? And then these seniors are also wrapping up a big portion of their life and moving on. And I wonder if it's not at all lost on her that when they walk and get their diplomas and they're done, so is she.
She's walking
And
to Arkansas.
And in the next couple of episodes, because we're going to skip, about a week, they're all just talking about going riding with this friend or riding with that friend. And it's her kind of saying goodbye and just having her last moment to hang out with all these cool new friends. I mean, she hasn't been here that long.
Right.
But she's had 2 boyfriends. She's been in a play. She's made a ton of new friends.
Yeah.
Some of these are going to be lifelong friends that I know of. So I think it's really cool. It's bittersweet for her.
Right.
Oh. April 29th, 1932. Started to school to get my report card. Bill Lindner told me he couldn't get it and to come back later. He brought me home. I worked a while, then Francis and I went and got Lil, and we went to the school to practice for the seniors. We went over to Lil's this afternoon, went to town and over to the school, and walked home with Francis and Bill. Bill invited us to a party tomorrow night. We stopped and talked on the corner. Velma and Lil came by for us tonight. We went to the commencement exercises. I had to play. Lil got mad at me.
Ooh.
I don't know why.
Yeah, she doesn't tell us.
I mean, the very next day.
Yeah.
She didn't even
Lil's
mention
fine.
it. This
Yeah.
is another reason why we
Right.
think, oh, did she want these read or not? Well, I mean, she's not giving us any dirty details. We don't think any worse of Lil. She got mad at her. Why did she get mad at her? I mean, I would have talked about this on and on for pages.
Right. Well, she's got a good heart. Not
She
that you
does.
don't.
No. I also had more pages in my diary. She had like 3 lines.
No kidding.
And I had a spiral notebook.
Okay.
April 30th, 1932. Lil, Francis, and I got a lunch uptown this morning and started hiking to the Dry Fork Bridge. Louie and Allie picked us up and took us. They stayed a while. Then we girls ate lunch and wrote our names under the bridge. Started back and got the car to mail a box. Went riding, talked to Bill on the corner.
We've gotten a lot of comments on TikTok. Do you know if the writing is still there, where they wrote under the bridge?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah?
If it was still there,
Yeah?
it's gone now.
Somebody
Because
looked?
in 2020, the Eastern District Commissioner, Doug Drool, said that it was a dangerous bridge. And people have been complaining about it for years. And they all agreed with moving up the Dry Fork Bridge in their priorities, saying it's dangerous and you hold your breath if you meet a semi or a bus on that bridge. So that was in 2020. So
Okay.
I bet you by now it's a
Okay.
new bridge.
Yeah. Okay.
So I
Maybe
hate
it was time.
that.
I do too.
But here's what's going to happen
Yeah.
if we ever go out there on our field trip. We're
Yeah.
writing our names under that bridge.
Hell yeah.
We're bringing
I
our
wonder
little-
if it's called the Dry Fork.
Bringing a rattle can. Oh yeah, it's still because it's the Dry
Okay.
Fork Creek.
Yes.
So it would definitely. I mean, unless they name it after like somebody who lived
Wouldn't
there.
that be yeah? Wouldn't that be amazing if we had seen that writing?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That I mean, if they had carved it in and it was still there on some structure, that would have been like,
Yeah, right.
like our holy grail.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
It makes me so sad.
Well, there's more holy grails with this story.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Seriously.
We have so much to do if we ever
Treasure.
get to travel out there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so exciting. April 1932, last month in Belle. Sure enough, I kind of hate to leave. All the kids are so cute, and I like them all. They have grand times, yet I guess it's for the best. May 1st, 1932. Left Belle at 10 this morning. Didn't have any car trouble. Ate dinner at Mammoth Springs, Arkansas. Had 2 flats this afternoon. Stopped in Salem to get one fixed and got one fixed in Melbourne. Got to Step Rock about 7. Had supper, and I'm going straight to bed. I'm homesick for Bill already. I would give anything to see Gussie right now. I'm going to have to work hard and might have to sleep in a tent. I sure hope Daddy gets a real good job very soon.
All right. So now.
Oh God, here we are.
Now.
This is
Here we go.
This is the bottom of the barrel for the Hartsells.
About to happen.
It is. But before we get to how sad that is, Mammoth Springs, how cool is that?
Yes.
Did you look up something?
Yeah. It's this really neat little town right on the border, from what I recall, of Arkansas and Missouri. And it's just this, to this day, like I go into Google Earth and look at these roads, and maybe we'll put up a picture on Patreon because it's a really cool little town. And it probably looks very similar. Am I thinking about the right one?
No, you got it.
Okay.
You got it.
Yeah. So, also, another thing is their flat tires. I mean, it's just like they always get flat tires.
Oh, that seems to happen a lot. But back to Mammoth Springs.
I'm sorry, yes.
It became part of the health craze of the late 19th century.
Okay.
Like how FDR always went down to Georgia to sit in hot springs.
Yeah.
Mammoth Springs was one of those health craze places too. And the water is, although it's not hot, the springs are a constant 58 degrees year round. And it was marketed as a health resort, and visitors came for the cooler climate. So 58 all year round, that's cold. So that's cold therapy. A lot of people believe in that cold therapy.
Well,
when I lived in Europe, I would go to the spa with my friend, and it was a naked spa. Like all the spas in Germany were. You had the clothed part on the top if you wanted to work out or go swimming. But then you went downstairs, you had to be completely naked. And they had saunas, and they had hot tubs, and then they had cold dumps. And you were supposed to like jump in the cold water then hop in that. You're supposed to go back and forth. No, I think I got into the cold thing one time. But I'm telling you, it was this girl that I would go with all the time. She's still one of my best friends to this day. But yeah, we spent a lot of time together naked, which is weird to think about. But
whatever, you know.
But it was so relaxing. And then, of course, at the end, we'd sit in the tanning bed for a few minutes. What were we thinking? But we looked great, and we felt good. So,
you ever been to a nude beach?
No.
Great.
I would think it'd be like...
It's nothing. It becomes nothing.
Well, I believe that because the spa became nothing too.
Right.
But sometimes I think just like nudist colonies, like some of those people, I'm like, could they wear some clothes?
Oh, for sure. 95% of the people there, you think that.
I think it's funny. But I have no problem
Greece,
with
it was just...
Yeah, we have friends who are nudists who invited me to go with them once where they take their RVs and go nude. And I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Whatever
but here we are. So they got those 2 flat tires.
Yep.
Flat tires are... I don't know how they fixed them. I mean, was it just, did you bring extras with you all the time?
Or patch it? Or
I guess, but what if you can't and then you destroy the rim? I mean, those wheels were kind of big. I don't know how that worked. That's
I don't either. I've thought of that.
Bonus episode.
Yeah.
Thing to talk about.
Subject matter.
I think so, because all that stuff is interesting.
You said they're always having flat tires.
Always.
Throughout the diary.
Forever. It's always a problem. So you'd think they would have constant backups. I mean, but they had 2. But anyway, they arrive. Wah, wah. I was going to call this episode From Belle to Hell.
That's unfortunately a good sum
It's a good, although, I mean, it's the best that they can do at the time. So they're back in Step Rock, which now they have left her mother's parents and have gone to her father's family. So this is Louie's dad, Moris Hartsell. We've talked about him several times
in
past
Hartsell
episodes.
Township. He had the farm.
He was like you said, it was like 8 miles by 5 miles.
That's what it is.
A huge farm.
Yeah. So when they land on the Moris Hartsell farmstead, what they're there to do is pick cotton as well as strawberries.
But this is strawberry season that they just arrived to, right?
This is currently strawberry season.
Right. And at this time, the farm has already been divided up among the many children that he had, because he's an old man and he's living with his daughter, Ella. In Pangburn with her daughter Reva, and we're going to meet them soon enough. So what had happened, and we mentioned it in a previous episode, he let them draw lots.
Right.
Like you get the back 40, you get the front 40, whatever. And they were either allowed to trade or buy each other out. So not all the children stayed behind, and Louis was one of them. I think Louis sold his lot and he went off to work in the train business. And now that's, unbeknownst to him, it's backfired on him. So now he's come back to the farm, and his sister Etta has said, okay, you can stay on our property. You will put a tent in the back for the girls, and y'all can work in our strawberry patch and start making some money until you get your family back on its feet.
Wow.
And he doesn't know if he's going to be there for a month or 10 years, but he takes her up on this, and he comes down. So Etta is the first twin we're going to meet in the story. And there are a lot of twins in your family.
Yes.
Your mom is a twin.
She is.
And then we have these twins, and there are other twins.
Their cousin, yeah.
I mean, and here's the thing that I learned today, and I was going to talk about this in next week's episode, but I forgot that Etta was a twin. Identical twins are not what is hereditary.
Okay.
Everybody on the planet has a 1 in 250 chance of having identical twins. That's just a fluke that happens. It is fraternal twins that are hereditary.
Okay.
And it makes me wonder, you know, I can tell your mom and your sister apart real easy. Like even in baby pictures, I'm like, no, that's Camille, that's Carolyn. I mean, even when we were at your mom's house, I'm like, I know which one you are, you're that one. And she's like, you're right.
Yeah.
I bet they're fraternal because that's what's hereditary. And there's so many of them. And they're not skipping a generation because even, you know, Etta that we're meeting right now and her sister Netta are twins. But then one of Louie's siblings has twins. So they're just but they're all fraternal. They're not identical.
But fraternals can still look the same, of course.
Yeah, because like I can tell the Property Brothers apart. They say they're identical twins. They're not identical at all. And I don't think it matters. I mean, who cares? You're twins. I think that's fabulous.
But paternal passes down is hereditary. Paternal twins.
Fraternal. That's hereditary.
Right.
Yeah. So if you have fraternal, like if you like boy-girl twins in your family, that's fraternal.
Right.
And then that's what passes down. But identical twins are just the whoop.
Yeah.
The oddity. Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. But anyway, so there's Etta and her twin sister Netta. But Etta marries a man named Clyde Froude.
Yes.
So it's Froude Street, I guess.
Froude Road.
Yeah, that they live on. So Clyde's an interesting guy. They get married in 1905 when she's 20 years old. But Clyde was born in 1884, and his parents were James and Ella May, and they were both from Bath, England. So Clyde Froude was a first-generation American. So I always wonder if he had an accent.
Yeah.
But Clyde's father was a coal miner in Illinois, and he actually has a pretty cool obituary. I'm going to read a little of it for you right now. James Froude, a retired coal miner of this city, passed away at 7 o'clock Friday night at St. Vincent Hospital, where he had been the past 2 weeks. He had been sick for several months. Mr. Froude was born near Bath, Wiltshire, England, on March 16th of 1843, and at his death was aged 67 years, 6 months, and 24 days. He came to America alone in 1865 at the age of 22 and had been a resident of this county. He located in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, was married there to Ellen May, who passed away 3 years ago in Taylorville. In 1875, Mr. Froude removed to Osage City, Kansas, and lived there 8 years, and then he moved to Pittsburgh, Kansas, Coal Hill, Arkansas, and Little Red, Arkansas, coming from the latter place to Taylorsville about 8 years ago. He was well known here and highly esteemed, and his death will be mourned by a large number of friends.
And that was Uncle Clyde's father.
Yes. Came to America alone. I wonder what his circumstances were. I don't have the foreign ancestry.com. And even then, I might not know. Good for him, because he was in his 20s when he did that, taking a chance on America.
If you look at the 1930 census, when Elisabeth is just before Elisabeth moves there, there's a border. So it's Uncle Clyde, Aunt Etta, and then their son, I forgot his name, but there's a border. Yes, Carl. Where there's a border from England.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a relative.
Right.
Oh, I'll have to go back and look.
I think it's the 1920 census on Ancestry.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah. A border is what it says.
Yeah. Oh, I find a lot of that.
Borders, yeah.
Oh, my God. And even into the 1950s.
Right.
I find people still have borders. So I guess I got used to it.
And technically, I guess the Hartsell family are borders too.
I guess if there was a
on
census.
the land in a tent.
Oh, that's interesting. But it looks like at first Uncle Clyde will try to follow in his father's footsteps. He becomes a coal miner himself in Illinois until he's 20 years old when he's injured in an accident that is non-fatal. Obviously, he's still alive. But it got him out of that business for good. And I don't know exactly what happened, but I found a newspaper article that shows that a mine in Illinois in 1904 was closed because it was considered unsafe, and it knocked 160 workers out of a job because it would be months before the mine was fixed again.
Sure.
And I think that's when Clyde was like, well, time to go find a new line of work. And I don't know exactly what that was. Maybe it was trying to find a girl to marry who owned a farm.
Right.
Because less than 1 year later, that's when he marries Etta Hartsell.
Well, Little Red is in Step Rock. It's right outside of Step Rock. So in the previous entry, he mentions Little Red.
Yeah,
and that's a little
where his
town.
dad had retired to.
Right.
Yeah, so
that's
so
Step
cool.
Rock.
So
yeah,
that's
where
it.
Elisabeth went to church in Little Red.
Oh, because the Little Red River?
Yep.
Am I remembering that?
Yep.
Right? Oh, so cool.
Yep, Little Red River.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, so he settles in Step Rock with his wife, and they will be not only maintaining the farm, but the general store that Etta manages and is also the postmaster general of that store. She actually inherited the postmaster general job from her dad, who got it in 1897 and held on to it until 1917. And then he let his daughter become the postmaster
Morris.
general.
Okay. So he was the postmaster.
He was in 1897. So he built that farmstead in what was it, the 1870s?
A little before that. I think
it was after the war for sure.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. But he built it with his own two hands. He established what basically would become the town of Step Rock.
Yes.
So he had the general store and he had to get the mail.
And I found in 1955, that's one of our first satellite imagery that our government commissioned.
Oh, cool.
And you can see the footprint of where the store was. Since then, it has grown up and there's actually a house there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But I know the exact piece of property. By the 1955, it's called somethingAerials.com, where you can just zoom into the corner in Step Rock and it says post office. It wasn't there at the time. It was just the footprint in 1955. But that's how we know exactly.
So you mean like the brick foundation or like the stuff? Oh.
And it says post office.
You'll have to send me that for the Pates.
Yes,
yes. Yeah. Oh, we'll definitely do that. Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah, it was really a good find.
That is cool. And it stays in the family because Etta runs it until she doesn't. And then her daughter-in-law, Carl's wife, will become the postmaster general then.
Okay.
So it stays in the family.
Love it.
But we'll talk about her daughter-in-law and her son. I wrote down, we'll lick that stamp when we come to it. That was so cheesy. That's so dumb. Okay. But here's another interesting thing that I noticed. Elisabeth calls them Etta and Netta. When in the letter we got from your long lost cousin, she calls them Eddie and Nettie. And even on Ancestry, I come across more Eddies and Netties than I do Ettas and Nettas. So it's almost like Elisabeth had a more formal relationship with them, and because Etta and Netta are their names, but they had Eddie and Nettie.
Yeah.
So I think it's really interesting that she doesn't use those nicknames. Like she never spent a lot of time with them, and she's not super close to them.
She says Netta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or sometimes she shortens it to like Net and Et.
Right.
She doesn't even put the or the E on
And
it.
we have a picture of them, by the way.
We do have.
It's twins. Yeah.
Yes, we do have a picture of the twins.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this will definitely be the episode, if I haven't already. I think I already have, because they go and meet the family on the way to Belle. But I'll definitely repeat it. And so we'll put the whole family. It's Moris Hartsell and all of his children standing behind him, which is really cool. And then there's another one of him much later where Elisabeth's brother is in the picture, but I don't know who the other people are.
That's his 92nd birthday.
But
in
who
Pangburn.
are all those people?
They are Etta, Netta,
No, they
Leon.
can't.
Yeah, they are.
Well, they don't look old enough because Leon's in the picture, but Elisabeth and Francis aren't there, and I don't see Louis. So are these supposed to be the grandchildren?
Well,
Him and
there's
his
different shots. It was his 92nd birthday.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've seen them all.
I guess I haven't.
Yeah,
I've only seen the
'cause
one
there's
where
like
Leon's right behind him.
No, there's like 4 with
Oh, good.
So
yeah.
I'll have to show you those.
Yeah, add those to our little Dropbox. Oh, that's pretty
all
cool.
these characters you will get to know.
Oh, definitely. Oh, no, we're trying to meet everybody slowly. So Etta and Clyde are in charge right now, and I think they've been very generous. We've had a lot of people on the TikTok going, oh my God, they made them sleep in a tent. I'm like, no, they gave them a place to land. They had nothing. Otherwise they would have been nowhere. So better a tent and a job than being like, as she describes later, a bum or a hobo.
And this is one step up, if that, from a sharecropper. This is a tenant farm, which is different than a sharecropper, and they were farm workers. And
they don't even get to be tenant farmers. They are laborers on this farm. They have no stake. They're just working. At least sharecroppers and tenant farmers have a stake.
Right.
But they have nothing.
They got nothing.
Yeah, nothing. And they're going to immediately go into debt because Etta and Clyde owned the general store. And as soon as they showed up with their flat tires and their children, and they needed to go into the store and buy flour and milk and eggs or whatever you get.
Costing us money.
Cereal, oatmeal.
7 people.
Suddenly they're like, okay, I'm going to give it to you now. You're going to owe me $5.
Right.
So we'll take that out of your first paycheck. That's coming.
That adds
so
up.
that's getting rough. But I thought it was interesting that just the girls were in the tent. And I don't know if it's just my 2020 murder mentality, but I'm like, I wouldn't leave my daughters with all these migrant workers everywhere. But I guess it was all mainly family. So they were, although anyway. Well, I might be popping ahead of myself, but yeah. So I guess the tent was super close to the house, but they arrive on May 1st and there's no unpack your stuff, go take a bath. May 2nd, they're at work. May 2nd, 1932, churned butter and helped Aunt Etta pick some berries. Doyne and I started to the berry patch, saw a big black snake. He ran back after the gun and shot it right in two. Picked 2 quarts of strawberries and helped Daddy pack them. Some of the kids from Pangburn came over and talked to us this afternoon. Doyne, Francis, and I went down and sat in the car. He told us all of his problems. I feel so sorry for him. Now, here she is, living in a tent. Her daddy ain't got no job. And
Feeling
her
sorry for
sweet,
Doyne.
sweetheart is worried more listening to his problems instead of going, well, I have problems too, because we just me.
Right.
So I just love this woman. But Doyne is Doyne Medford Capps, and he is her cousin, and Doyne is Netta's son. So he's the son of the twin, Etta and Netta.
Right.
And so I think it's really cool. Netta doesn't live in Step Rock, but she has sent her son down here to work. He was born in May of 1915, and in the 1930 census, he's labeled as an unpaid worker for the family.
Wow. There you
Poor
have
Doyne,
it.
give that boy some money. And he was probably sent with the girls to show them how to do it. That's probably why he was there. And oh my God, I thought, thank God he was there because of that snake. And Mark McKinney, you would have run for the hills.
Oh, I would.
You'd have been like, I'm done.
I'm thinking when we go out to Arkansas, I'm going to frolic through those hills.
We'll pre-frolic out and make sure we scare all the snakes away.
Right.
When we had a beach house and my mom would walk from the house to the beach slapping 2 sticks together to scare away snakes and lizards.
Yeah.
So we'll bring 2 sticks, but that'd be funny. So Doyne signs up for World War II like everybody did, and he becomes a motor machinist's mate, 3rd class, on the SC 647, which is a submarine chaser boat, which you could get me off that thing immediately because you don't know where those submarines are. That's terrifying. But anyway, when he registered for the draft, he was married to Margaret Elvira Capps, and she's still living with him in 1950 when they moved to Miami, where he becomes a land developer for Dade and Broward County. And we know where those are because of the election. They're in Miami.
Wow.
But
Okay.
but so good for him.
Yeah.
Wow. But that's we're going to see construction also running in this family as well as farming, but that's in the future. But okay, so then when they get to Miami, she disappears off the face of the earth. I don't know when she dies, where she goes, or what happens. But in 1973, he remarries to a woman named Marilyn Archer, and he dies with no children of his own, only stepchildren. And I don't know how he died. But he was there in Florida when he died in 1998. And his obituary called him Doyne Red Medford Capps. So what are the odds he had red hair? And I went back and looked at his World War II registration card. And sure enough, he was a redhead. So duh for the nickname.
Frances was a redhead.
Oh, she was?
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you believe that?
Like obviously red, or like Daphne's, like brown with some red?
No. I think she was a red, because all of the images, the pictures that we have of Elizabeth's sister Frances are black and white. My mother told me the other day that fun fact.
Hey, that is a fun fact. Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to me that on the very day that she's laying her head down in a tent, Jack Benny has his first show on the radio.
Wow.
And the radio is super important to Elizabeth. She even verbs it. She calls it, I radioed tonight, which I think is so cool. And she will talk later about Jack Benny and how excited she is to hear him on the radio. But this is his first show. She's in the worst place in her life,
tent.
And he's in the best place of his life.
Imagine.
But he was a great ad-libber, and he was that self-deprecating humor kind of guy, and he became hugely famous. But what I thought was interesting was that he died in 1974 at the age of 80. And at his funeral, George Burns, which you and I know because we're older people, y'all can Google him. He was a great comedian and an actor and a movie star.
And God, right?
Yeah, yes,
Oh,
he was God. Yeah, with John Denver.
Right.
Right? Yeah, but anyway, he was supposed to give the eulogy, but he started crying and couldn't continue.
He was supposed to give the eulogy
for Jack Benny.
For Jack Benny, okay.
Yeah, and he couldn't do it. He just cried and cried.
Aww.
So Bob Hope hopped up and delivered a eulogy, and he said, for a man who was the undisputed master of comedic timing, you would have to say this is the only time when Jack Benny's timing was all wrong.
Aww.
He left us much too soon. And Jack Benny arranged for a single long-stemmed red rose to be delivered to his widow, Mary Livingston, every day for the rest of her life.
You're kidding me.
And she lived 8.5 years after him, and that ended up being 3,100 roses.
How wild.
But wasn't that every day? Because, for like the first week, it'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
And then after the first year, you'd be like, geez, okay,
Constant
someone go get the
roses.
rose.
Yeah, right.
But I guess she just would probably add them to a little vase. And so she always had
blooming roses.
Blooming red roses in her home.
I love that.
Sweet? Yeah. So that was a little aside.
Yeah.
May 3rd, 1932. Wrote to Bill and Lil. Typed on the typewriter some. Today we got the house fixed up to cook in. This is the second night to sleep in the tent. Doyne is going to stay with us. Thank goodness. We're together again and by ourselves. God, I wish I could see Gussie. So, what about Bill?
Right.
I mean, she was actually in an active relationship with Bill when she left, but now she's worried about Gussie. But there are two things I wanted to chat about real quick in this entry. One is typewriters. Because I'm like, how rare was that?
Yes.
So typewriters have been around since 1870. And so I don't know how old this typewriter was. Maybe when Morris became the postmaster, he thought, well, he should have a typewriter. So it could be as old as the 1870s or it could be recent. But even in the 1870s, a typewriter was $100. And that in today's money is like $2,000.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. So when, so they have this post office up there and I'm sure she's super excited to get to play with it. When I was a kid, when I'd go to Daddy's office sometimes after school, all I did was slap on that typewriter.
Yep.
It was like, those fidget spinners that kids have today. A typewriter was my fidget spinner. I just wanted the clicks and the sounds and the texture.
Yeah, but you peck.
You wouldn't.
Don't you peck on the typewriter?
I peck so fast. I peck faster than...
You're a fast pecker.
Oh, yes. That's the rumor going around. But yeah, no, I just kind of memorized where all the letters were. It's like playing the piano for me. Like my one thing my piano teacher complained about was my fingering. I'm like, I just put my fingers where I want them to go. I don't care about the fingering. But I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then she says, we got the house fixed up to cook in. Okay. So then I'm like, what? Then why aren't you living in the house? And then I thought about the farm that we own up in Holly Hill, South Carolina right now. And it has so many little working houses around it. So you've got the main house, and then we had a hen house, and then we had the feed and storage house, and then there was a kitchen house. And it was just a little separate, like 10 feet away from the home. So if it caught on fire, the house didn't catch on fire. So when the smells and the heat weren't part of the house, there wasn't a kitchen in our little Victorian farmhouse in Holly Hill until after World War II.
It was in a separate dwelling.
It was a whole separate building 10 feet behind the house. And then you went there and cooked and prepared everything, and you brought it in for the food and you cleaned up.
Fair enough.
So that's what I'm thinking that she's doing.
Behind Aunt Etta's house.
That there's that's the kitchen house. A
separate kitchen. Because she does talk about cooking a lot.
Yeah. And they're not doing it in the tent.
That all makes sense.
And they're not going to go into Aunt Etta's
house every time.
So there must have been an outbuilding.
Well, there's a fun fact.
Isn't that fun?
That is.
So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
That they had a little farm. May 4th, 1932. We picked berries this morning. I got 4 quarts. The kids from Pangburn came by. They are all cute. A new girl came to Aunt Etta's today. Her name is Ruby Williamson. We all went over to a musical at Mr. Burt Meyer's tonight. Had old country music, 2 violins and 2 guitars. I wish I would hurry up and get some mail.
There's a lot there.
Yes.
Wait, what?
But first, let's meet Ruby Williamson.
Yes.
So Ruby Williamson was born in Pangburn in 1914, and eventually she will move to California with her family, where she meets and marries George Covell Sr., and she worked for 10 years for the U.S. Postal Service as a clerk. So maybe she had gotten, hanging out around Netta and Etta, she got some post office skills.
Right.
And she was also a school bus driver for the Buckeye School District. Miss Koval was very active in her community. She helped in the construction of the Marshall Hospital and the Shingles Spring Community Center.
All right.
She was a member of Easter Seals and other organizations, and she was married to Mr. George for 63 years and had 5 children.
Go, Ruby.
And it's really cute because at the end of her obituary, it says, Gma, I'm very glad to have been able to spend time with you and Grandpa George, if only but a short time. Love, your grandson, Jim. Isn't that cute? And then we meet Burt Myers. We're going to hear a lot about Burt in
Where
the
the
future.
musical was.
Where the musical was.
What's the musical?
They're just getting together and playing music.
Right.
I think it's funny that they call it a musical.
They do.
Because you really can't research old musicals because then you get Singing in the Rain.
So imagine it's just banjos and things like that.
So
I did some research.
It's a jam session.
Yeah.
Right?
And there's dancing. Yeah.
I
There's
think it's
pictures
really cool.
actually of one of them on the Library of Congress.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, he was a farmer. He married a woman named Erie Penn. She was 18 years younger than he was.
Ooh.
And they had 3 children, Raymond, Ralph, and Ruth. He died in 1968 and her just a few years later in 1972, even though she was so much younger. And they loved music.
Well, 2 violins, 2 guitars.
Yeah, pretty cool.
That's
A
what
good
she
night.
wrote, right? Old country music, 2 violins. That's really cool.
I know.
They
And
did love
after a
music.
long day of working on the farm.
Hell yeah.
I mean, because we're going to see a lot about Mr. Myers. Mr. Myers has a
recurring role.
Yeah. And there he is trying to have some entertainment for everyone, which I love.
Yeah.
May 5th, 1932. We didn't pick berries this morning. Francis and I made fudge this afternoon. The kids from Pangburn came over here. Pauline Edwards set my hair. Cecil Tony came down here and we played all kinds of games. Doyne, Francis, and I talked out on the stile. Today is his birthday. We really mean to go to Mammoth Springs this summer. So,
What's first?
Doyne has a birthday. Well, we've already talked about Doyne. I can't find
Well-
Pauline, and I have her first and last name.
Yeah.
That's really aggravating for me.
Yeah.
I've put in all different kind of ages for her. I'm not going to give
But
up
she
looking
knew
for
how to
Pauline.
do
But she
hair.
could do hair. And she comes over a couple of times, so I'm hoping she's about their age anyway.
Hair is important.
Of course it is. But I did find Mr. Cecil Tony.
Yeah.
He was born in 1915 in Pangburn, and he owned and operated Tony Auto Sales from 1949 to 1978. He was a veteran of World War II. So I thought, though that's interesting, let me find out what he did. He was an MP, which is a military police.
Yeah.
And he was only in service for 4 months because he had a neuritis in his back. And he had it before he was drafted, but they figured, well, you can just stand around and guard stuff. Well, apparently, I guess he couldn't stand for long periods of time. So he was relieved of his duties. And that's when he starts his little dealership. May 6th, 1932. Picked 7 quarts of berries this morning, started home for dinner, met Herman and had our lunch and letters from Lil and Bill. After lunch, I picked 15 quarts, came home and started typing a letter to Bill. We all sat in the yard and sang tonight. I wish Gussie would write and send me the pictures of himself he promised. I wish we could meet at Mammoth Springs. May 7th, 1932. Went to the berry patch this morning and picked 11 quarts. Francis and I didn't go back this afternoon because we were too tired. Helped with the store and typed the rest of my letter to Bill. I'm going to bed real early tonight because I'm about pooped out. Gosh, my life has changed since last year. I hope we will all be in a home of our own real soon. I wish to goodness that Gussie would write.
Remind us what she was doing a year ago. She was in Monticello,
Yeah.
going really good schools. Her father was staying in a hotel in like a fancy, somewhat hotel, but
Yeah.
life was much different. She weren't living in a tent a year ago.
Yeah, she certainly wasn't. Yeah, I think about that time they had moved into a smaller house.
And it
But
was just starting.
it was still, it was really just starting. You know, she and Pee Wee had founded the Good Girls Club. And
Right.
now she's in a tent wanting her friends to write her a letter so she feels connected to home.
Jeez.
She had a great time in Belle.
Right.
So, yeah, her life has sure changed. And, stay tuned to find out how long she's in this situation. It's going to be a while. And this is such a sad note to end episode. What episode is this?
7.
7
weeks we've been doing this. Thank you all very much. We love doing this.
If you've made it this far, oh my God, thank you guys for sticking around.
And the story just gets better and better. The story.
I mean, there's so much coming, y'all. I mean, and eventually... Well, there's so much coming. Y'all need to stick with us and figure everything out with us. But if you want to know what's happening next week, really like now, or if you are wondering about any questions that we get or any answers that we have, head over to the Patreon. At the $5 level, we have all kinds of pictures from every episode. We also throw in our TikTok lives. So in case you're not a TikToker or you missed us one night on a live, we answer a lot of questions on those too. And they're just kind of fun to watch if, you're in bed at night and you just want to see a little hour of fun before you go to bed. And then on the $10 a month level, you're either going to get next week's episode a week early or you're going to get a bonus episode from us. We like to dive a little deeper. We like to interview people like Mark's family, or I'm looking for historians. So if you know a historian in Belle, in Step Rock, in Searcy, in Pangor, anywhere, an Arkansas is that what you call them? Arkansans.
Yeah.
An Arkansan historian or someone who just likes to run their mouth, reach out to me because we'd love to talk to them. And as usual, we are My Grandma's Diaries on all the things: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Patreon, podcast. But you know that because you're listening. But stick around and please let us know if you have any questions or comments. And don't forget, and I have never mentioned this in all 7 episodes, give us a 5-star or give us a 4-star.
What?
On reviews for our podcast.
Oh.
Yeah, rate and review us because that's the only way that the algorithm will help other people find this podcast. So you don't have to be Shakespeare or Mrs. Browning. You can just write, I like this. And you know what? That'd be fine. Or tell us what your favorite color is. My favorite color is pink. I would love to see 50 comments that go, my favorite color is green. My favorite color is yellow. Just say a word.
Lord.
And just to put some typing in there. So we don't expect a soliloquy. But we really enjoy having you here. And thank you so much. Join us next week where we're going to talk about a lot more picking. And there might be a new boyfriend.
Or 2.
Oh! She likes options.
Tweet. That's a little Easter egg or whatever you call it.
That's
a
Mark.
hint.
That's
tweet.
That's wonderful. All right, so we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.